Luque Woodley, the co-main event. It mostly feels like the UFC is just trying to extract as much value as they can from Woodley, just moving fighters up the rankings, and Vincente Luque, one of them. Woodley's lost 15 rounds straight at this point. A huge fall from grace for the former champ, but I think this is has the potential to be an important legacy fight for him in terms of how we look back at his career, because there's this argument to be made that Rory McDonald put out a game plan on how to beat Tyron Woodley. A really simple one. This guy just backs up against the cage and looks to land his right hand bomb. If you have a good jab and pressure him forward, then it's easy work. McDonald does that, gets his title shots, and then Woodley has his championship reign where he still kind of follows the same game plan. The most impressive knockout being the one against Robbie Lawler, but he lands these bombs mostly against southpaws. Even Wonderboy, I think, was in southpaw when Woodley was landing the knockdown shots, but till Lawler knocks down the kind of disappointing fights to get the rematch against Thompson and Maya, and then Usman, Burns, Covington, all just in different ways doing very much the same thing Rory McDonald did, just pressuring him forward and having an easy night at the office once you get him backing up against the cage. And Woodley knows this. You saw against Burns, you saw against Covington, he came forward, he did his best to pressure, not back up, but it just, for Burns, it was a shot. For or Covington, it was a takedown. And then once that happened, the dam broke and it went back to the same Woodley backing up against the cage, looking for that right hand. And I feel like if he wasn't able to get it going against Covington, a southpaw who he's had way more success over his career finding that shot against, and literally the most punchable face in mixed martial arts, if he couldn't find it there, I don't really see him doing it against Luque, because Luque, an orthodox fighter, great pressure, great jab, does the two things you need to do to beat Woodley in the prime of his athletic career, and also some vicious leg kicks, which might catch Woodley badly. I don't think he's really had to deal with those too much in his career, and he does get very low, especially when he's pressuring forward. So I can see him trying that, and then Luque just stinging him with those leg kicks. But kind of a last chance for Woodley. If he can do it against Luque, he gets to prevent history from being rewritten that way, and his recent decline being more attributed to age and a drop off in athleticism than him always having that hole in his game. So, real important chance for Woodley to shape his legacy. I can't think of really a fighter in the welterweight top 15 I'd pick Woodley to beat though right now, except unless Damian Maia is still in there. So we'll see. Then you got Sean O'Malley coming back against Thomas Almeida, and it feels like the UFC just trying to get the Sugar Show back going, matching him up against a guy on a 2-fight losing streak. It's really that loss on his record against Chito Vera. It still just was kind of bizarre to me. Freak leg injury, ankle injury that came off like a checked kick that I've just never really seen a guy's legs go out like that. One of the closest things that comes to mind is O'Malley's other ankle injury that he had against Andre Sukumtat. So that's going to be a question hovering over O'Malley for a while until he gets like 4 or 5 straight fights without having one of those freak leg injuries. Like, is this guy durable enough to compete? We'll see. I think one highlight knockout and the Sugar Show's back in full swing, and he'll be getting the matchups he wants and cracking at the top 15. This is an exciting guy with all the self-belief in the world, the charisma to really steal the show and make it his own. So kind of hoping for that, because it just makes it fun. It adds another variable to a great division, but really just the eyes on the ankles and legs of O'Malley to see if they hold up and what happens if he's deluded himself in the best possible way, saying I still feel undefeated, or he's just unwilling to face reality and gonna suffer the consequences. And then last fight I wanted to touch on quickly is a girl, the Canadian Gillian Robertson, fighting Miranda Maverick. This fight rescheduled from about a month ago after Robertson had to pull out with some bizarre fight day ill health. I think it's going to be a tough one for Robertson. She just she didn't look comfortable enough in her last fight against a girl who was a good striker and a good grappler, and it caused her to force the grappling exchanges, which led to her being like starting in a poor grappling spot and then just wasn't able to work her way out. When she forces those grappling exchanges against bad grapplers, she's able to like reverse it, scramble, and go to work. I think Miranda Maverick is a pretty solid grappler who I'd pick Robertson in a 50-50 grappling position, but if she's taking poor shots and ending up on the bottom to start, I don't think it's going to go her way. Maverick has solid striking, not world beater by any means, but she had that beautiful elbow in her last fight and just kind of pressures, stays consistent. The one thing I do like for Robertson is Maverick throws a lot of like leg kicks to start the exchanges, which are just poorly planned, poorly timed. So I think that's her. If I had to pick a way for Robertson to win, it would be Maverick throws leg kicks to start the entry and Robertson catches and gets the takedowns off those, obviously pulling for her and hoping I can break down another savage finish. That's going to wrap up this combat corner. We'll be right back.